Good morning, everybody. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about creating your travel plans and saving on taxes. Before I want to introduce myself. I'm Dana Keller, and my channel is dedicated to abundant, healthy living, and that is including looking at all the different possibilities. I'm an entrepreneur as well as a W-2 employee, and that's why I wanted to kind of highlight different ways we can actually incorporate our business travel as well as being able to save on taxes. So let's get started. Anyway, so here I'm going to talk about like our next travel trip. We're going to Japan, and we wanted to kind of highlight like how do you get started? Okay. Anyways, so first, when you are doing your research, discover like business events. Find something that's related to your business and look for the desired destination. So we wanted to go to Japan, and there's an opportunity for us to be able to attend the 50th anniversary of Enagic, which I happen to be a distributor of. So this is a good way to capitalize on being able to travel and attend the event. And this is a once in a lifetime. Um, it's the 50th anniversary. Plus, we get a chance to travel to a different country, not just somewhere in the States. Also, I wanted the opportunity to be able to bring my family along. So I hired them. My stepson is a photographer in high school, so I created a contract for photography for him to do some video and take some photos while we're over a trip. And then I'm also doing a travel blog, like what I'm doing right now. So everything is crafted around the business. So then that way it's a write off for a business trip. Also, you want to keep track of all the documentation related to the trip. So that includes tracking your lodging, your transportation, any type of meal cost that could be written off, like 50% of it. But then also, if you can, document it as you're going. Like, if you're doing social media posts, that's all related around your business. And remember that anything that's ordinary and necessary for your business is a deduction. So map out your dates. So you want to maximize your trip by planning it out. You're not just there and then being like, you have to kind of design it. You're only there for a short period of time. So you want to make sure that you know exactly when you're going. Transportation, it's not the same as it is in the US. You have to plan out train stops. And since we're traveling from Tokyo to Okinawa, I have to incorporate airline travel. So then that way you want to make sure that you're able to map out everything and maximize the 7 days and still be able to enjoy and create space, right? The other thing that this was a tip from, if you follow Melanin Money, Carter Cofield. This is where I got this idea from, and I'm one of his students. Anyways, so when you're traveling for business, um, include the week, like a couple of weekdays before the actual event. So then that way you're able to incorporate the whole thing because the IRS doesn't expect you to just go there and then come right back, especially if you're traveling overseas for an event. So make sure that you kind of create that sandwich, right? Days before, event, days after. So, and then the next thing is when you are traveling and commuting, I went to Priceline. So look for, set up your fare alerts and get the best price. This is where I wish I could have done better because I actually saw it when I made the decision back in January to go to the event. It was like around $600, but I waited. I waited too long, and then I ended up paying a little bit more. Also, look at travel insurance. You want travel insurance to be able to cover the cost of the fare because it's super expensive. But then also, they have medical insurance. We're traveling overseas, so in case of any type of issues, we want to be able to make sure that we're covered medically. And then also, when you're looking at the flights between islands, I found when I looked at Expedia, I looked at Cheapo Air and Priceline, just seem to offer better prices, and then I was able to kind of shop around what worked best. For the flights between island, I wanted to make sure it was a later flight because Tokyo to Osaka, I wanted to cut out that extra hour, but I also wanted to see the country, right? So I went ahead and booked it from Osaka, but I booked it later in the evening. So then that way we can get up and then take the train because we're going to travel about, it's usually 4 hours, but since we're getting the JR Rail Pass, we're going to take the bullet train. The JR Rail Pass actually covers ferries, regular bus transportation, regular train, metro, and the bullet train. When I priced out the bullet train, it was like $100 versus like $300 for the 7 days for the JR pass. So it just made sense. And then the other thing is, um, you're also able to, like from the JR Rail website, you can actually book a pocket Wi-Fi. So then that way you have data access up to 5 users, and then also a SIM card. So for my stepson, since we're gonna be separated for a day, I got him a SIM card that he can actually put on his phone, which will give him data access and his ability to kind of call. And then for myself and hubby, we are going to travel to the event in Osaka. So we're going to be about an hour away by train. So we want to make sure that we're able to communicate. So that's the best way to be able to uh, do the whole communication, Wi-Fi, navigate that data plan. And then also there are apps. And then I'm going to do the Japan travel series and kind of share what I'm learning. There's Japan Transit to kind of show you the time frames for the different transportations and rail systems that's coming online. They also have Navitime. That one is an awesome app. So basically, it creates your itinerary for you. You can actually plug in your airfare, your projected hotel stays, and it'll actually map out and tell you what's the best time for you to take a rail between destinations. And then it'll even tell you when you're overlapping, which was awesome. So then that way it made it easier for me to kind of like, hey, I need to be able to leave the hotel in Tokyo by 10 to make sure I am in Osaka by 3 because we fly out at 5. So it's a tight squeeze. We want to make sure we actually get there in time and actually see a little bit of the place before we fly out to Okinawa. And then also Navitime and like the Get JR Pass that works with the JR Rail Pass. And go. I believe once I get there, I'll find out a little bit more, but I think that where they kind of works like Uber and Lyft, which is super cool. So we'll see how that works. Accommodations. I use booking.com versus Priceline. I love Priceline, but you pay up front. So when you're trying to manage your cost, I wanted to get airfare, big chunk of change, and then save up a little bit more for the JR Rail Pass because that's transportation. So you need to get around. But then I also didn't want to wait till last minute to reserve the hotel stays. So a couple of things. Booking.com allows you to select and then look at the locations, map it out, and then also you can reserve it without paying for it right away. You can pay for it a little bit closer to your actual travel date. And then the other thing too is I look at the proximity of the hotel to the train station or to the airport. You want to make sure that you're able to kind of get to the airport quickly if you once you leave and have to depart, or get to a like a main train station to be able to get to your destination. Because like when I lived in Europe, everything was connected to downtown. So when I would stay in a new city, I would find a hotel close to the main train station, and I would suggest doing the same thing here in Japan. So, and then when you're actually travel planning, create space. Don't fill up every single day because you're going to be exhausted. That's one thing I learned from my dad. We have days that were like super active, and then the next day would be chill day. So the way I mapped out this particular travel, we added an extra day once we landed to be able to, basically account for jet lag. We're coming from the West Coast to Japan, so we're adding a day. We're crossing that international date line. And then the next day, we'll go ahead and travel to Osaka. And then from Osaka, travel to Okinawa. We'll take a flight out there. Okinawa will be 3 days because we have the event. So it's a sandwich day. We have like a day of chill, the event. And then the next day, we're in Okinawa. So we're going to do something that's specific to that island. So we're going to go snorkeling. And then the next day, we travel back to Tokyo. So in Tokyo, we have like basically 2 open days to just hang out and do all the things that we want to do. Go gifts, souvenir shopping, and then fly back. So you want to be able to see as much as you can and definitely ask the locals, as far as like what to see. And then I chose for like since it's a crunch time, the JRL pass and taking the bullet trains in the major cities would be helpful because it honestly, it actually, when I mapped out regular train and the bullet train, it cuts the time in half. So, and then when you're exploring the sites, again, it's about creating a memorable experience for everyone. So take into account the rest of the group that's coming with you. What do they want to see? So that's why creating the space helps, and then give them like an itinerary. And I'll share a link as far as what my template looked like to kind of give you an idea of how I mapped it. I geeked out and put it on Google Sheets to kind of see kind of like the timelines. And then also I got feedback from people that have been there before. Like I was in the military and I had a friend that was stationed there, and she mentioned, you know, different things to see and experience. And I'll put that in the next slide. And also, if you can, speak the language or try, so at least get the basics, with hello, excuse me, the very polite country. So take that into account when you go to Japan. And then learn more what not to do in your host country. So here are the tips that I found out from Japan. Clothing. They're very more conservative. So especially for women, I mean, we walk around in leggings out here, but that's like not something that they adhere to. And so I have to be mindful of that. Also covering my shoulders, covering my tattoos, and then packing for different weather types. So, I mean, I looked in the weather app. It is basically southeast. Well, it's Asia and it is June, so I plan for monsoon season. Um, so I got myself a raincoat, got like shoes called Vessi that is waterproof. Super excited. I'll put a link on the what was it on the description below. And then also my friend suggested bring a coin purse because a lot of the places only take cash and it's a very coin based culture and that's their money. Also, I researched, they're very polite, shy. So when we're in public transportation, she suggested to keep quiet or just keep it to a whisper. They find it like rude when we're actually talking on the phone. So try to keep that in a minimum and then maybe find a different location to be able to do that or just wait and enjoy the countryside and just look. And then also practice some Japanese, but also allow them to practice their English with you. And then I was told when they're on the escalators, stand on the left. So basically, that allows people to pass you on the right. She said, you got to try karaoke. Everybody does it. And then the arcades are amazing. All the Japanese cuisine. So, what I like to do is when I go into a new city, a new country, is basically ask the locals where to go and really enjoy the culture. Anyways, so that is Japan in a nutshell. I am looking forward to sharing our trip with you, which is about to start. So until next time, subscribe and follow us for the next video. Thank you.